One of the coolest things that you have as a skill of being a veteran is the ability to adapt. The ability to adapt. What does that mean? In the military, it means that you can use camouflage to adapt to the environment around you. It means that when you find out that you only have 2 weeks before you have this school that you have to go to because you got voluntold, that you have to get your dress uniform ready and go to the tailor and get, it taped and measured for you. The ability to adapt in the military means that when you find out that you're going to PCS and you know that you need it because you're trying to get to that, E7 position, one of the things that you have to do is change from one state to another, East Coast to West Coast, maybe. And your family has to adapt, but you have to adapt too. The ability to adapt in the military means that when your point man gets blown up in Afghanistan on patrol, someone else might have to step up as point man. Someone that maybe wasn't trained on it the same way, but now that the point man who was trained on it got blown up, now it might be your turn to step up there and minesweep. And now maybe it's your turn to get your leads blown up. Right. The ability to adapt is a gift. It's this beautiful skill. We learn a lot of things in the military that civilian world, a lot of nonprofits, a lot of organizations, and it's not that they don't know any better. It's just that they don't know because we've never gotten to this level. But we learn a lot of ways of how we can adaptability. What a great metaphor, right? How we can adaptability to employment. Well, so-and-so is willing to adapt to the fact that they might have to work on weekends because the military always screwed them over and they're willing to work on weekends if needed. Well, I am willing to adapt to my boss saying that someone has to drive to another state office and it's going to take a 3-hour drive, and I'm willing to adapt to be the one to do it. I'm willing to adapt to if my team is saying that nobody really wants to pay for lunch, I'll adapt and I'll say I'll cover the bill because I was willing to just make it happen. Or I'm willing to adapt and just drink with the boys after work every day because, it's what they do. It's what's normal. I'm willing to adapt to seeing that one of my partners or someone at work or a colleague of mine or someone that I see in the civilian world continuously cheat on his wife and it's normal for them. Well, I guess I have to adapt and accept that this is normal for me. The ability to adapt in the military was taught to you because you had to. Because we had to lose our individuality. The ability to adapt in the military was taught to you because we had to. You don't have to do that anymore. You can still adapt, but you can adapt however you want. No one will be upset if you don't volunteer. No one will be upset if you don't raise your hand. No one will be upset if you take a day off. No one will be upset if you say no to going to an event. You don't have to adapt for other people now. You get to adapt for you. This is the lesson that I want to tell you today. You finally get to adapt for you. Now, if you've noticed, this was supposed to be, I believe, part 4 of a 7-series episode. And I had every intention of doing so, but you see, a couple of weeks ago, or whenever it was, I recorded episode 4. And at the end of the episode, I realized not one word was recorded. I was upset. I was dismayed. I was committed. I told myself it's not a big deal. I'll record it later. And I just said, I will adapt. Just because I have left the 9 to 5, if you will, just because I'm no longer a police officer, just because I get to work on my own doesn't mean that I don't have to change the adaptability lesson that the military taught me and adapt for me. You see, in the military, we are taught that mission comes first and you bring that with you. And a lot of companies love that because they know that the thing that you will sacrifice for their company will be you. And by extension, if you're sacrificing you, you're sacrificing your family, your kids, time with people that you love. Oh, and by the way, you're sacrificing those whether you have them already or whether you don't. Little secret. Your spouse, she's out there waiting for you. And if you are sacrificing yourself and you are single right now, trust me, there's a different type of sacrifice you have to make. But it's not the ability to adapt for other people. It's the ability to adapt for you. So as I learned this lesson, even years after leaving the police department, or what feels like years, in reality, it was just under a year ago, November of 2024. As I learned this lesson, I realized that it is not just about adapting for what happens in my life now that I have to change. It comes with, when things happen around me, I have to adapt what I choose to adapt. This month of September, it feels like I was punched in the dick as far as my business goes. And I decided that when that episode didn't record, it happened for a reason. And now I'm learning that adaptability means I get to choose what I do and how I do it. So I decided to record this podcast. That's why I'm not doing video. That's why I'm just putting it out there, because I can adapt to how I want. For a long time, I tried to put something out that would help everyone. I can't help everyone, I'm realizing. I learned that. I just had an event with 15 clients that came out, and out of those 15, there were a handful that were just not ready to hear what I said to them, and it's easier for them to decide that they would rather discredit the source than try and take ownership over their shit. So they're not going to take ownership over their shit. And I just have to accept it as truth. I can't help everyone. And it hurts because I want to. Oh gosh, I want to. My heart is so big and so full of love for myself as a veteran, as a man, as a father, as a mentor, as a son, as a partner, that I have so much to give to the rest of the world. And it hurts because they won't let me, but it's because they can't. And as soon as I remember that they can't, it doesn't hurt anymore. Because they can't yet. They're just not ready. And I'll be honest with you, someone that will never be ready will always stay in that negative mindset, no matter the big alert, the big thing that they see, because it's scary to make change. It's scary when you are faced with the reality of what you have to do, that it's not just doing X or this or Y or Z. It's changing the way that you look at life. And I delivered some of the highest quality material that I have ever delivered in my entire life. In my entire life during the retreat that we did. Which means there was a lot of things that a lot of people were not ready to hear. And the ones that did, trust me, they are freaking crushing it. And I love the progress that I am seeing. And trust me, the business is not in a bad place. It's just this small little thorn in my side. Because that's all it is. It's just a small little thorn in my side. Everything else is going wonderfully. But it affects me. It affects me because I have to adapt the way that I adapt. I have to adapt my adaptability. Because even though I know that it is a small, literally less than handful of people compared to the over amount of clients that are doing really well, it doesn't really affect me the way that I think it should. And as soon as I recognize this, I sit with it. I sit with it for a little bit. I do some mental, not gymnastics. I do some mental clarity. I made sure that I work out. I made sure that I talk to my partner, Carolina, who helps me get through these moments. I made sure that I spend time with my kids. I made sure that I hop in my ice barrel. I made sure that I talk about it when I want to talk about it, and I don't when I don't. And I don't let the noise get to me. It's just noise. It's just a distraction. You see, the journey that we're all on, for the most times and the most part, it will be that little voice inside of your head that sounds like you, telling you these things. And eventually you get to a point where that voice tells you nothing but positive stuff. And even when that voice wavers, when you hear negative self-thought, it's normally a little bit quieter than the positive ones that are overwhelmingly louder. And what happens when you're on this journey, one day it won't even be your voice in the back of your head that is telling you the negative stuff. It'll be other people's voices. It'll be the universe. It'll be rumors. It'll be the noise. And that's all it is. And we're all just at different places of our journey as people. And as a veteran, I want you to know you can be light years ahead of the rest of the population if you look at everything and how it not translates. I don't want you to translate X equals Y in the rest of your life. I want you to adapt. Don't translate your skills. Adapt all of them. Because the way that I adapt now is knowing that when I hear negative noise like that, it's not about, oh, well, now I need to address it. Now I need to have more coaching calls. Now I need to reassure every client. I need to adapt to this. No, I know that the clients that know, they know. I know that these clients are just going through a different chapter. And this never happens in my program. Never. And it's only happening because right now we demanded more of them. Right now we raised the bar for these people and they couldn't meet it. And that has nothing to do with me. Because I'm going to focus, I'm going to adapt, and I'm going to reconsider and put all my energy towards the clients that are meeting the bar, that are raising the bar. So again, adapt the way that you adapt all your skills. Adapt your leadership. Adapt your work ethic. Understand that going to the gym is not punishment. Understand that you deserve to be in every room that you want to be in. Adapt your mindset. Don't translate it. This is why I say that the word veteran transition and the veteran translation of skills it's not right. I don't like it. I don't like it because it hangs on the premise that you're going to translate from one language to another and that it has the same meaning, because that's what a translation is, correct? English to Spanish. I am here. Yo estoy aquí. It's that translation. Things get lost in translation. I want you to adapt. I want you to adapt the fact that you don't have to be early to everything and you don't have to multitask anymore. I want you to adapt that to knowing that now you have to learn how to just do one thing at one time. I want you to adapt to the fact that sometimes you're going to trip over your words and then you just keep going. I want you to adapt to the fact that no one, and by the way, no one is watching you. There is no first sergeant in the back of the room making sure that you don't fall asleep or that your hands aren't in your pockets or that you're taking notes. Nobody's coming to yell at you. But the same way that no one is coming to yell at you, I need you to adapt to the fact that you're going to take care of your body because no one is coming to yell at you about it. You see? Adapt everything, guys. Adapt everything. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a story because it's story time. Today has been an interesting day as I decided that I was going to record this podcast and I wasn't going to do another episode of my series because I had to adapt to the fact that my business right now was in this growth pain, growth spurt, growth period, whatever you want to call it. And with growth spurts come growing pains. With growth spurts come growing pains. You see, in order for something to heal, it doesn't have to be broken. It doesn't have to be sick. It doesn't have to be in a bad state. It just needs to know that it wants to get better. Our muscles heal every time that they repair, and that's how they grow. Our muscles don't just grow by lifting weights and then they naturally just by themselves grow. No, the muscle tears. The muscle tears, and then we feed it the nutrients and proteins and fibers that it needs to actually grow. That happens with our brain too, in a different way. The depression, the anxiety, all of that is just the mindset and the excitement that you have to allow into your life. The brain is like plastic. It can rewire and change its basically dynamic programming, understanding, subconscious, even when you are in your later years in life. Studies show that now it can be done almost any time, although primarily it is done when you are a small toddler. And you can adapt who you are, because if you learned it in the military, if you learned the skill of adapting, that's the only skill that I want you to understand, is the skill that you have to change and adapt to this new world that you live in. Because this new world isn't just corporate America. This new world isn't just becoming a cop. This new world isn't moving back in with your parents or going to college and trying to feel like you are making some sort of name for yourself. This new world, by the way, it's whatever you want it to be. Because your skills in the military don't just translate into a specific type of job. And there's a lot of veteran influencers out there that will tell you the same thing. They just won't tell you on a podcast in front of everybody else, because there's fear of being criticized. But I'll tell you, you do not have to become a cop. In fact, it actually might hurt you. You do not have to go into contracting. In fact, it actually might hurt you. You don't have to work in the security sector. You don't have to go into another branch and do special forces. You don't have to become a firefighter. You don't have to chase chaos. You don't have to do any of those things, because in fact, they might actually hurt you. And how is it that I can say this if I'm the one that did that? Well, because I have experience with this. Imagine that. I want you to adapt your mindset to getting out of the military and knowing that you get to write your own rules now. You get to write your own rules now. Let's start there. Going into law enforcement might keep that trauma around you. It might keep you stuck in the mindset of trying to be early all the time and looking for chaos. Just think about it. You are walking around the same way that you walked around when you were in country, as if someone is going to hurt you all the time. And we know that being in country gave us this rush. Being deployed, whether you served in war or not. And by the way, I don't care if you did or if you didn't. It doesn't matter. You didn't choose when you were born. But you were on edge, because whether you deployed to war or not, you were trained a certain way. It's the bare minimum that the military teaches you. You don't just rise to the occasion when you are in war and you're in a firefight. You can get into a firefight at any point in the military because you are trained to a basic minimum standard. This is the way the military trains you. Branches are different. Don't twist my words and say, well, the Navy won't experience this. But guess what? The Navy trains you to experience a massive sort of catastrophic breakdown of a ship, because you don't get to choose where your duty station is all the time. In fact, you almost never do. And there's a reason for that. They want you to learn adaptability. They start teaching you this at a very early age in the military, because you're a baby in the military, believe it or not. That's what they want. They want to break you down so that they can reteach you all the things and they can get rid of your bad habits. That's a good thing, guys. It's a very good thing. I wouldn't change a thing about joining the military. It saved me 150%. I'm sure of that. But I didn't need more saving afterwards. I did not need to go into law enforcement because I felt like I was in country every day. I felt like I was deployed every single day. And I hung around with people that were just like me. And I love my guys that I was working with. It has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with me. I wouldn't change a thing, like I said. But if I can teach you this, and if I can teach you this before you have to go through it so that you can learn the lesson without the scar, then learn it, guys. Learn it. The best thing that you can do for yourself when you get out, is travel, is find out who you are. Take different classes. Move to a different city. Learn a new language if you want to. Do something different because you have this newfound gift that if you use it consistently, as soon as you leave the military, by the time that you are 24, 25, 26, 27, it will be this amazing freaking skill. And that is the power of adapting for you now, because you learned how to adapt for others. That's what you do in the military. Now you adapt for you, which means you say no to moving back home. You end up breaking off the relationship. You decide that you want to move to a different state, but you're adapting for you, because guess what? When it gets hard, when you choose the intentional hardship, you can adapt around it. This is the hidden skill. This is what I am doing right now. This is why I am not allowing the noise to bring me down, because I am a veteran, because I know that I learned this in the military, and because now I adapt to the way that I want to live my life. This is just a small little season that does not get to define me. This will be one page in the chapter of my book, which is a lot more pages than one. This is not even 1% of my life. As this happens, I get to experience an absolutely unimaginable amount of personal growth. Taking care of myself, being present in a relationship for the first time ever, being present for my kids, not working on the weekends so that I don't feel burnout, not doing certain things right now so that I can be present with my kids as they are growing, because this season of my life consists of this. It's going to change. I'm going to adapt again. There will be seasons in my life where I have to work every weekend for 2 straight months because I'm trying to launch something really big. But this season of my life is focusing on the clients that are absolutely doing amazing because they trust me, because they trust themselves. This season of my life is focusing on me and doubling down on what I believe, because all I have to do to put more stuff out there is just say it out loud and believe in it, because I know you will too. This season of my life is not allowing the negativity to even enter my head. I don't even hear it. And I did get to that point recently. I just had to remind myself. Yesterday, I found out that there's this very silly, secret, hidden, undercover, underground chat. And they're inviting people to talk bad about me. And honestly, when I found out about it, I laughed. Because it came in and it left my body in a funny way. Because it doesn't bother me. I get it. People are looking for some sort of validation, so they want to feel good about themselves. I get that. And it's not even about like, oh, well, let the haters hate. Like, they're hating just because they want to feel better about their bad decision. And I know this. They want to feel better about their bad decision, and they would rather put me down and call me names just so that they can tolerate their lack of action on the thing that they have to change. And we know what they are. We all know what they are. Then actually face the music, because it's hard. So I'll leave you with this. Adapt to your new environment. Be willing to question the things that don't make sense to you anymore. Adapt to the fact that now you can go to bed when you want, and you can wake up with the sunrise, and you can decide that instead of researching everything and taking notes on everything, maybe you just research the one thing, believe it, and then do it. Adapt to the fact that you don't have to work out for punishment. Adapt to the fact that you can go on dates in the morning for a coffee run. Adapt to the fact that you can decide to not work weekends or travel or go into a different career field. Adapt to the fact that you can do whatever you want to do. Adapt to the fact that when you choose hardship, it's because you chose it, and you can adapt it to whatever comes your way. But it's for you. And face the music. Because there are a lot of people that are not willing to face the music. Doing the work and being different and showing up and facing the music, that is what's weird. Because it has become the norm to not face the music, to run away from your problems, to say that, well, society is just this way, to say that, veterans this, to say that, well, I did the one little thing, but I can't do the big thing, or whatever it is. It's easier to do that because that's the norm. That's what society does. And I want you to adapt to the fact that you were never meant to be the same as everybody else. You see, when I made that video a long time ago about veterans don't come back into society, that they were never part of society, that's a good thing. You didn't learn the bad habits that society has. You're here with this new set of skills that completely can set you free and give you the life that you want if you just believe in it. And if you want more like this, like I said, I will serve the hell out of you if you want to be a client of mine. And you can find the link on all my social medias. You can find it in this chat, right, in this comment section below. But I'm here to tell you, not only will I support you and be someone that is in your corner always, I will bring out something inside of you because I'm not looking to motivate you. That's external. I'm looking to inspire you because it comes from you. It's not even from me. That's what inspiration is. So face the music, do the work, and just remember, you have this amazing skill to be able to adapt. So keep using it. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, send me a message on social media. I promise I'll reply. Let me know that you enjoyed the Adaptability Podcast. Adios, everybody.